Well, hello internets, here we are. We have ourselves another vlog, a few ideas once again in my head that I'd like to share. And yeah, welcome to our vlog. So here we go. Well, with everything going on, I have got rid of a lot of things, sorted through a lot of things, throwing out some obvious trash, sold many of the valuable items. Probably could have sold more if I really wanted to put the effort into it to extend the whole selling thing even more. However, sometimes it's best to cut it short early, be done with it, and move on with things that are more pressing. I pulled the plug early, per se, to go camping when I had the opportunity present itself there. And I thought, well, delete all my ads, cut her good. I've made my cash. I haven't counted it, of course. But I've worked till long enough to know what a significant amount of cash feels like. Enough to feel comfortable of the next year's potential project or camping adventure, or however it's going to fill out or fall out, and maybe even be able to save a little bit to put with what I have from selling to buy a new trailer come next spring, or I guess I should say new, used, good quality trailer next spring. Maybe something that's not whatever it was there, 10 years old. Maybe something that's only 5, something that hopefully will have longer than 5 years of life in it before I end up basically scrapping it. One thing that I've learned through life is, why throw away good items when there is still potential of use out of them? Living in the apartment here, you see things thrown in the trash that are still good. They may not have had use of them, but they're still fully usable. If I had space and had time, when people move out, they throw water coolers away. Water coolers that worked fine, just there weren't room on the truck to take them. When I moved, there was my leather love seat that I couldn't take with me. What do I do with it? There was end tables, bedside table, various boxes of kitchen type stuff that I can't take with me. And I've seen, like I said, good stuff in the bin. And if you can't sell it to recoup the monetary side of it for you, then why smash it or damage it to throw it in the bin to take away its usefulness for anybody else? Just set it next to the bin and people will come and take it, or the landlord or property management company will come along and throw it in their garbage trailer and take it out to their dump run that they seem to do on a virtual daily basis. Last evening I went back to my new space, tried to fit some more stuff in, work things through. I think I have an idea of plans for the future, meaning what I can fit in, like where I'm going to stick my computer now. I'm going to end up having to put my computer under my painting table, which is where I didn't want to put it. However, it kind of is going to be the only space that's going to be left available for it to go. So I think if I build a little box or shell around the computer, not tight where it hampers airflow, but kind of like a splash shield, so if there is a spill of paint, then it doesn't, run into the computer and run through the fan and the motherboard and all that wonderful stuff, because, well, that would be an epic disaster. Out of all the years that I've done, I've had, I guess, technically 2 spills. One was a squeeze bottle that the lid was plugged on, squeezed it a bit too hard, and the lid popped off and paint went everywhere in my old apartment. The second was here not last winter, but the winter before last. I had plastic, like I do, to line my workbench for paint splatters and such. The plastic shifted, the puddle of paint from pouring spilt on the floor. Now the beauty of using acrylic paint is it's water cleanup, especially if you get at it pretty quick after it hitting a surface. So you wipe the floor with paper towel and then wash the floor thoroughly with mop, maybe doing a couple of water changes, and that nasty red paint like I spilled in the other apartment, you couldn't even tell on the white linoleum, and the paint here was kind of the same way. Wipe her down, do a good job. If it's dried, I find rubbing alcohol, depends on the surface, works very well. So I think that's what I'm going to do, and as a result, my expensive, nearly $500 office chair that I bought in 2017, that really, other than needing a slight retighten of some of the bolts, and it was just starting now to delaminate in a couple of very small spots, I had put down by the bin last night with the intentions, if it was still there this morning, I would throw it in the truck to take it to Goodwill, so it didn't end up being thrown on the maintenance run dump truck that they run every day or so. But I forgot today was Saturday. Maintenance don't work Saturday, at least the dump run doesn't run Saturdays. So I guess it kind of worked out. Well, it was there late last night and there early this morning. However, about 2 hours ago, it was gone. So somebody in this complex or somebody passing through grabbed it and got themselves a really nice office chair. I used to have a ritual or routine, if you will. Every Boxing Day, me and my ex-wife would go to Walmart. We'd stand there 6 o'clock in the morning for the doors to open. We'd stock up on DVDs and Blu-rays. We'd grab new pillows, maybe a new sheet set if we needed one. Grab dishwasher tabs and a few things that were Boxing Day door crasher kind of specials. And I'd grab I forget what brand it was, but Walmart's cheap hard bonded leather kind of office chair, and it would last me a year before the shock was garbage, before it started to delaminate, and right around Boxing Day the next year, when I was out doing my shopping, buying my antivirus, stuff like that, I buy another one of the cheap office chairs. And you know, they went from $89 to $99 to $110, and I think they were like $137 at the end. And in 2017, when I was doing my large, expensive computer build, I had the money, so I bought the best keyboard I could find. I bought the best mouse that I could find that fit nice in my hand, to go with the good epic once every 10 years or something desktop computer. And then I got thinking, well, hey, let's go over to the big box red retail stationery store, and look what they have for office chairs. And I didn't buy the most expensivest, but I didn't buy the cheapest. I bought the best one, the high back one that fit me well, was comfortable to me. And after all these years, from 2017 to now, in what is it now, there, late summer, fallish of 2023, when I'm filming this, that chair is still good. That chair, the shock is still good. There's nothing broke, nothing stripped. The leather is still good. Like I said, it's just starting to delaminate now. So in theory, another 2 to 3 years more, maybe, use for me before it really needed or could have been replaced. With the shock being still good, a little bit of delamination or a lot of delamination don't really matter, right? I've noticed a trend lately with things. People either want big bucks for them, or they damage them and throw them in the trash. Or they use second-hand stores as a way to get rid of their garbage so they don't have to do a dump run. Lately, the second-hand stores, or at least the last 6-8 months that I've noticed, have been refusing donations after hours and locking areas of donations or locking bins. And you can kind of understand why, because in the previous years, I've noticed this myself. People have been stealing from the donation piles, donation bins. And when that happens, they're technically stealing from these second-hand charity kind of stores. And which I guess wouldn't be that bad, because I guess it's between them and their God, and for whatever reason they're choosing to steal. Is it to pay their rent, to pay their bills? Is it to see who can get the biggest collection of garbage before they die? You know, some of the stuff we donate to second-hand stores gets thrown away anyway in their big red garbage bins at the back of their stores that I see stuff go into, some of which I have donated myself, that was very usable and good items to me. But one of the big problems, besides the obvious loss of revenue to the store, is they damage things, break glass, make a mess. Sometimes they get in the bins and they sleep in there and do all sorts of stuff in the bins. Then when the staff open the doors, they have to deal with a biohazard from them doing whatever in those bins, or potential poking themselves on needles or glass because of things that went on in those bins, and merchandise being damaged. So you can kind of understand why, but it makes it difficult when you work long hours or odd hours to be able to donate items because of things that have happened with issues and stuff. I had an idea in my head a decade ago about kind of like, you know, have junk, bring junk, need junk, take junk. You bring your broken lawnmowers, bicycles, patio sets, and exchange them for other good stuff, you know, almost like a free yard sale or a yard sale item by donation, by exchanging good stuff for more good stuff and making new good stuff out of the used good stuff. But it would have to be like a volunteer basis and some kind of free piece of dirt, because if there's no cash changing hands, how do you pay the bills? I've always been taught to try to find someone else to give your good stuff to before throwing it in the garbage. I always tried to find a use for the good stuff before making it disappear. I always tried to not throw stuff in the trash until I had to, whether it was in the way I was moving, and sometimes I did hang on to things for far too long, but at the same time, sometimes 6-8 months later you need a part because you're fixing up a bicycle, lo and behold, in your milk crate you got in your shed, there's the very same part that you need. Just saved yourself $30, or the very fact that it could mean scrapping that bike or not if you don't have that part, because it's not worth going buying a new part for a bike that you're really only going to end up selling for, you know, $25–30 anyway. Take care of one another, help one another out when you can. Don't need to go overboard, but at the same time, you know, don't turn your back on somebody in need. And you never know, try to make the world a better place. And as always, thanks for watching, comment, subscribe, and enjoy.